Navigating through the tricky waters of dating and relationships while sustaining a positive mindset can be challenging. In a world dominated by social media, ever-growing sexual desires and underlying insecurities, as founder of Lipstick Stain Passport, I'm on a mission to expose and identify the core principles and bitter truths of the dating world. Travel through the highs and lows with me, Robert Van Tromp, as I highlight and discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So, Carly, first and foremost, thank you for joining. Absolute pleasure to see you again.
Of course.
And I guess, well, we've got a lot to go through because we haven't seen each other. Now is the kind of opportunity to get, I guess, we'll get a lot off your chest, but also to kind of express exactly, if you can obviously revert back to the retreat and the things that went on and, you know, all the memories that you made on those 3 weeks that you were there. So kind of just to start things off. So if we rewind everyone back to Turks and Caicos, obviously after all the we initially thought it was parties in paradise and we find out it's too hot to handle. And you have this initial romance with Chase right off the bat, really. Would that be fair?
Yeah, to be fair. Yep.
Yeah. So right off the bat, and then kind of you spend your 2 weeks with Chase, and then you kind of go on to meet Joey for what seemed to be the final week. Yeah. So I guess what the first things I want to ask you is, how did the events of what happened in the retreat, first and foremost, how did that make you feel from meeting Chase right the way through to Joey?
I mean, obviously me and Joey are broken up now, but I will say, going back to the house, he was there for me. Like, I'll give him that. He was really good for me. I think they brought him in at a perfect time because I was really sad about Chase. I think a lot of people in the house could see that I was sad. I was upset. And Joey came in and he was just like a breath of fresh air, and he was good to me in the house. He was stayed a lot with me. He was beside me. Yeah, it was like perfect timing, honestly. It was good. It was good. Netflix did it right. Okay.
And obviously, I think, well, we all saw it as well when the actual show came out. We saw the kind of the emotions and the roller coaster that you really went through on those 3 weeks. Crazy.
Yeah. It was a lot. Yeah.
And we saw obviously, everyone saw the kind of I guess the sad moment where Tabitha comes in, and you've obviously that same day, I think it was either the same day or the day before, you'd had that chat with Chase and kind of decided to part ways on it. What was the kind of the feelings you had at that moment in time, and kind of, if you can remember back to how you felt, what was the kind of the key emotions that you were going through?
I was so sad. I was like really sad. Like I was like crying. I think it wasn't even like that I really like Chase. Like, I don't know. I guess I did because like we're in such close quarters for 2 weeks, and like he was the closest person I was kind of in the house. But Tabitha came in. I liked Tabitha right away. Like, I actually thought she was like fun and like funny, and like me and her clicked. But it would just like suck the timing because like, it wasn't her fault. Like, you know, everything's like, it wasn't her fault at all. But I was just like sad. And then me and her ended up getting really close. I remember one of the dances, he was like one of like the white nights that got cut out. He wasn't like talking to her. He was like ignoring her. And I remember her coming up to me being like, does he always do this? And I was like, yeah, but you could hang out with me. I remember that. I was like, I'll take you. I'll take you.
So obviously, like you said, when that moment came about, it was obviously the timing worked. Let's be fair to say the timing worked quite well for Chase. In terms of obviously kind of parting ways with you, and then a new girl turns up. He eventually kind of falls down that route of then kind of falling for Tabitha, and then almost maybe got a little bit of a taste of his own medicine.
He did. That was so funny. I didn't know that was going on. I didn't even know that was going on until I like watched it back. I didn't even know she said all that because like she never told me that she wasn't feeling Chase. Like in my head, I was like, oh, you know what? They're cute. But then like when I watched back, I was like, Tabitha was just hanging out the whole time. Like I had no idea. Like we're all such in our own worlds in the house that people don't think that's something people don't realize. Like as much as on camera it looks like we're all together, we really were all on separate journeys. So you don't really feel, you don't like even the stuff with Cameron. I didn't know he was going through that with Emily. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It was just funny to watch it back. I was like, atta girl.
And the thing is as well, I think what people don't often realize as well is that when you're on a TV show and you spend, what was it, 3 weeks there out in paradise, I'm not, not even forgetting all the time we would have spent prior to going in the retreat. The actual show itself only shows 10 episodes, and across 21 days, there's a lot of stuff that either A, gets cut out, and also doesn't show the true reflection of how that person may have been perceived or the emotions they may have been going through.
100%. I completely agree with that. I think, and I felt bad because Chase was perceived really poorly, I think. And everyone was like, oh, he cheated on her. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. And I did go back because he got a lot of hate, but he was like good with it. Like he rolled with it. But yeah, I felt bad.
Yeah, the guy loves the toxic stuff, huh?
He loves the toxic stuff. Who is calling me right now? Yeah. Unknown number. I'm sorry. I just got a random phone call from a random unknown number, probably a psychopath. It's fine.
Oh, good. Oh, we'll answer that one straight after. So, if we look back at your time there, is there anything that you would have done differently if you could do the experience again?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't do anything different. I think how I came out of the show and like how I came out of the house was like great. I think I felt great. I don't know. I think it was a great experience. Like, I don't really have anything bad to say. I don't know if I'd necessarily do it again because it is so intense. But no, I wouldn't change anything. No, maybe being a little bit more vocal in the house. I think I kind of was like, because there's so many strong personalities in the house at the same time. And I think I kind of like turtled. Like, I think I was always the most quiet one, especially at like the group meetings. You can see me like barely talking. Maybe just spoken up a bit more.
I see. I always thought the hardest job in the house was the production crew trying to tell us to speak at only at one time. Because like you said, all the big personalities were always chatting over each other, laughing or whatever, and it was really hard to get a word in it sometimes. So
yeah.
So
I just was sat there.
So I guess if we look back to obviously leaving the retreat, you then eventually kind of rekindle with Joey after kind of finishing the show with him, I guess, back in December. Then you kind of rekindle, and then you have this romance post show.
That's a big word.
The word romance.
It wasn't romance at all. Out of the house. Okay, so I'll say this. So right after the show ended, I did fly to Miami, and I really liked him. That's when I realized I was like, I really liked him. I could feel he really liked me. And then some shit went down. We broke it off. But then after we got back after that, that wasn't real. Like love. Like on my end it was, but on his end it was not, I would say. You can tell when someone's not into it. And then by the end of it, I was over it. So
I see. So you think at that moment in time, potentially you may have been more invested emotionally maybe than he was at that given time?
100%. Yeah, I've heard from like multiple people since the breakup, like he was using me. I remember I was actually just in New York, and I was just with some girlfriends and whatever, and 3 girls that I met in Miami that are friends with his roommate came up to me and they're like, Carly, whatever, like we loved you, we always thought you were so nice, and we want to tell you something. And I was like, oh God, here we go. And she's like, Joey told us that he was just like using you for clout. It was all a fake relationship. And yes, he was cheating on you the whole time. I was like, that's good. That was nice to hear.
Okay. Well,
so yeah.
I think it kind of brings me on to the next bit. Obviously, the whole situation that went down regarding, I guess, the cheating scandal of, what we maybe a lot of us probably didn't anticipate. I guess from my perspective across the pond, you guys look super happy. All the photos that maybe, across social media or, the time that you were spending together. Was that something that you maybe didn't see coming, or was that something that you thought maybe actually you look at it now and think, actually, if I really, really thought deep down, it's something that I could have probably seen happening?
100% I could have seen it happening. And I let it go. And so I actually stopped posting him. When I started to feel like it was I was being used, I did stop posting him. And I remember him being like, why didn't you post me? Why didn't you post me? And I was like, see like what's going on. You know, it wasn't about my feelings. It was about like, why haven't you posted me? You posted a story of me. And it was just getting to the point where I was like, and we'd be invited to things in LA and I just like didn't really want to go, or like say like whatever, like my mental health was state, he'd be like, well, I want to go. Like this person's gonna be there, this person's gonna be there. And it was just like, are you just staying in my room because you want to be able to like hang out with me? Or are you like, you know, it just got to the point where everyone around me too, like my best friend was like, you know, my best friend was like, he's using you. And I was like, am I being dumb? And then finally when girls were messaging me, and this is another thing people don't know, it was more than one woman that had messaged me. Obviously I would never say who it was, but more than one girl reached out to me before I even decided to post it. I just was blind to the whole thing. I was like, maybe they're lying, whatever. And then finally, when I got DMs and it was more public and people were posting that he was cheating on me, I was like, I can't not say something. Like I'd look dumb. And like, as a woman, I'm like, I encourage women to like say that, like tell their story, have their voice. Like, who am I if I don't? So I was like, fuck it. And maybe I shouldn't have done the Instagram stories, but I was so mad. And I was like, everyone should know that he is essentially like a kind of like a piece of shit. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be mean.
Don't mince your words, Carly. So, I guess, you know, like you just said there. Obviously, you know, people do things in the heat at the moment, and as you quite rightly said, although you had those emotions at that given time, you probably shouldn't have put the stories out or whatever like you did, but you did.
I don't regret it though. See, that's the thing, is I don't regret it because it was a learning lesson. It was my first relationship that was like out in the world, and I learned from it. And would I do it again? No. So like, I think I was good that I did it with a person that wasn't good to me, you know, because I mean, essentially, like I haven't spoken to him, by the way. We have no contact, but yeah. Yeah, I don't regret it. I think he kind of deserved it.
Well, let's say life, no regrets and all that. Okay. So
no regrets.
So I guess to kind of obviously talk about that. And obviously, like you said, you're very active and voice a lot on your social media about how no, in terms of how, you know, women should be treated, and how, you know, for example, female body confidence is something that you value very highly. And you also, I think you see, I guess, a big responsibility for your platform to be vocal to people, to kind of speak up more and to try and manage their insecurities and their mental health much better. Would that be fair?
Yeah, 100%. My whole brain, and like, I haven't really spoken a lot about my mental health on the internet yet, just because I want it to be, I don't know, like I want it to be, I don't know how to explain it. I want it to just be so genuine and like really like real that when I talk about it, I want to like be able to say a lot of stuff that's happened to me in my life and like things when I was younger and stuff like that. So going online and like going back to like the Joey thing, like, yeah, I'm posting that, like I got a response from it, and I was like, people respond to that. Like I did actually end up posting some other stuff that happened to me, and I went online and I posted it, and the response I got was beautiful. How many women reached out to me and were like, I've been bullied my whole life for this. Like, you know, I used to strip, and I still get like bullied at my son's school and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, people like really respond to when you're like real, you're like, put your emotions online.
No, amazing. I think, like you said, being probably, you know, now definitely viewed as a role model and being relatable to a lot of females across the world who would look up to you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Like, you're like making me feel so good about myself right now.
No, but you are though, aren't you? You're someone that would definitely, a lot of people would look up to. I think, and definitely carried yourself very well across the show. And I think people look at that and think, even in a pressurized environment like that, we've got a lot of cameras. You knew there was going to be a lot of people potentially watching you, and you still carried yourself very, very well. So a lot of people, obviously, since the show now, will look at you and value the kind of advice and the knowledge that you kind of push out on your social media.
Yeah.
So talking from your own experience, you know, you talked about mental health there. How has the kind of the show impacted your own mental health, first and foremost? And was it an area that you always kind of focused on prior to the show coming out?
That is a good question. Yes, I've always talked about mental health. Like, I was diagnosed with, I've never said this on live before. I was diagnosed with social anxiety and severe depression when I was really young. And so I've always been into mental health. All my girlfriends know I'm like the first one they call when my girl were like, she was like anxious. She's like, I've never felt like this before. And I was like, I'm here. I got it. But post show, I spiraled, if I'm being honest. Out of the house, I was a wreck because when you're being woke up at 8 a.m., being told to eat, lights are at 11, we had our whole day plan. It was like we had like a life coach essentially for like 4 weeks in a house. And then I came out of it and I was like, it's COVID. I'm not working. I don't know what's going on with my like relationship. I was so all over the place. And right away, I was like, I need help. And I got a therapist because I didn't have a therapist before this. I just had medication, but I got a therapist and that really helped. And I still talk to her. It's been a year now that I've been talking to the same lady.
Interesting. And well, first and foremost, thanks for sharing. I guess, like I said, a lot of people would probably suffer from these kind of areas, some of these problems and areas, and maybe keep it to themselves and bottle it up. I guess not just talking about females now, but also for males as well, particularly for mental health. Is there anything that you would give advice to a younger Carly or the younger generation in terms of on the lines of mental health and kind of, I guess, really try and give them a kind of the head start if they are feeling those kind of worries or anxieties in life?
I think the best thing to do is seek help. I tried to like push that away for a really long time. And as soon as I got a therapist, like my world opened up. There's so many, also there's nothing. There's so many online chats. I'm actually sponsored by one that you can go on and talk to therapists, even if you can't get in person or if you're at home. Like everyone has a phone nowadays, everyone has a laptop. The best thing to do is get online and talk to someone because someone cares, like always. And I didn't realize that, like, because like it's hard to talk to your family sometimes about that stuff, and even your friends. Like my friends didn't know that I had anxiety and depression when I was younger. Like I was embarrassed by it, and now obviously my girlfriends know, my mom knows, but someone out there cares. Like so quickly, I realized that my therapist cares so much. Like even just talking to someone, like there are people there that will listen. And I think the advice I would give is go out and try to seek help and don't be embarrassed by it. You don't even have to tell anyone. Just go online and therapy online now. Like
amazing. That's really, really good advice. Thank you, Carly. And we talked about obviously the influence of social media and how that can have effect on people. We know it's almost built up in modern day times for us to kind of aspire to be like other people and to aspire to get the kind of the desire and almost the fulfillment from other people rather than from ourselves.
Yeah.
Because of that, how do you think that social media could, hinder people's progress mentally, and how has that kind of run people down to the ground at times?
I want to say, first of all, I love your questions because this is all what I'm about. I love this stuff. I think social media, honestly, I look at it in a very toxic way. I don't think I've ever had a good relationship with social media. I was bullied online when I was younger, so I really hated social media for a long time. Now I'm trying to find some positives for it, but I would say if it's giving you anxiety, turn off the comments, block the people out. It's also people like, sorry, I'm trying to think how I'm gonna word this. It's also like people that don't know you will comment on your life forever. You could not say a word and sit in the corner and someone could say like, fuck that bitch, and you got to like work past that. People are always gonna have something to say. People are always gonna have, I just don't even look at it. And that's something I would tell people, don't even look at it. If it's going to bother you, I know it's hard. It's like an addiction, but delete it. I have periods, and Nathan will tell me this all the time. He's like, you do so good at taking social media breaks. So what I'll do is for 2 weeks, I'll delete the app off my phone and I just won't even go on it because it's important to cleanse. It's so important. I do that all the time. All the time I do it. People don't notice because my manager will post for me, but I do it all the time.
Wow. All the time. I did not know that either. Yeah. So, I mean, for someone as well that's followed by quite a substantial amount of people around the globe, over a million followers. And I guess that will take a toll on you. And I guess taking that cleanse is very, very important.
It's the best. It's legit the best feeling. And also, so before, and this is another thing I guess some people do realize, but like before the show, I didn't use social media. That's a funny thing that people don't know. I had like 3,000 followers on Instagram. Like I didn't post. Like I would go through months of not posting. I didn't use it. I didn't check it. Like, so then going from 3,000 to 1.5 million or whatever it was in a week, like I got 1 million within a week. It was nuts. Like it was crazy, but I wasn't processing it. I still don't. Like when I get DMs daily and I still don't even like, I can't even wrap my head around how many people follow or like are intrigued in my life. It's weird, but I love it. I love my supporters. Like they're the best.
What's the I have to ask you, what's the weirdest request you've had online thus far?
Honestly, I have a lot of female followers, like 90% female. Like my whole following is females, which is great. I love when like young girls message me and they're like, I look up to you, or they ask me for advice. Another thing is I try to answer as many girls as I can. So a lot of the girls I'll respond to. The weird, so like that's the thing. I don't really get weird ones. Maybe just like I would slide my balls through nails to like like smell your fart, like or some like shit like that, which I think is so funny. That's like one every 100 comment I get though, because most of it is like young girls following me. But when I get those, I die laughing. I love seeing them. Like even the negatives, I'll laugh at. Like even when someone's rude to me, before I would like not even comment back, but now I'll comment back like same. I hate this about me, or like yeah, like I just put it into like a funny way. I'm like it doesn't even matter what people say. Like it really doesn't at the end of the day.
So sorry, can we just rewind that one? I would slide my balls across broken glass to smell your
Smell
fart.
your fart. I was like, I'm down if you want. I don't really fart, but I'll burp on you.
Girls don't fart, do they, Carly?
Girls don't fart and girls don't poop. No, I'm just kidding. Girls do it all.
Amazing. Okay, so obviously, okay, just I guess moving on from that, we've had recent events over the last, I think it was the last week or so, where kind of there were things mentioned about you across another podcast, and I guess much like the same of what we've already talked about. You mentioned obviously came out on social media and you felt that you were, well, personally being attacked, but also you felt that you were your whole image was being shamed about how your behavior and how you act around LA. Is there kind of, well, first and foremost, how did that make you feel?
Well, so the thing is, the weird thing about this, and I don't want to go too much into it just because I don't want to even give it, I don't even want to do the negativity. I'm really trying to stay away from it, which is why I haven't publicly answered it. But a lot of it is lies. I met those girls that one girl one time. I never hooked up with him. That's another thing that is a complete lie, which people don't know. I didn't do anything with him. I kissed him one night in a club. It was nothing. It was not a thing. I wasn't seeing him. I didn't even have his number. Like, I didn't even know him. Like, it was just, we made out and it was whatever. It made me feel like shit because I didn't even know the pot. Like, I don't do the drama. I don't do that. So I didn't even know. And I started to get DMs about it. Like, how aren't you going to stick up for yourself? Like, you're all about this. Like, someone's touching me. And I was like, what are they talking about? And I went and watched it back and I bawled my eyes out. And I was like, fuck, that hurts my heart because they're sitting on the couch and they're giggling about me, calling me like a whore and stuff. And I'm like, it's just sad that like, and like the thing that bugs me the most is the girl's brand is all about like sex. Like her whole image is sex. That's what she sells her like life on. So then to sit on a couch and call me a whore, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's just like, it's not, I feel bad the most for her young fans that look up to her that like think this behavior is okay. And quite frankly, I would never let my best friend sit on a couch, call someone a whore and post it online. I would never do that to my best friend ever. You don't like, that's another thing too. I don't think she really had the best interest in her friend because I would never let, someone in my podcast room and make them out to look so negative. Like she made her look like a piece of crap. And if I'm being honest, the girl's not actually a mean girl. She's not. She actually texted me and apologized for it. And she actually felt bad. And I think the one girl was using the other girl to say what she was thinking, but give friend the shit for it. And I felt bad. And I was like, fuck. And it hurt my heart. And I was like, she probably did. I hope she doesn't mean that. And if she does, whatever. But yeah, it was sad.
Well, like you said, I think you'll probably agree with me. Well, like whether it's comments on social media, whether it's bad messages we get, in our DMs, or whether it's something like that on a podcast, we always think maybe it's a reflection of that other person on how they feel about themselves, rather than kind of the behavior of you and the actions of yourself. Yeah.
Well, and another thing is too is like people don't know, and this is the thing. People were so quick to jump to whoever's side was the loudest, whoever posted about it first. And I really thought about it. I really took a step back, talked to my manager, talked to my mom, talked to my friends. And I was like, how do I want to go about this? Because I've never had like a public like fight with girls like this. Like I just didn't know. And I took a step back. I took a couple of weeks. This has been going on for weeks now. And I was like, how do I want to address this? And I was like, I can either turn this into a positive or I can fight back and people are still going to say what they want to say. And I realized I'm just not going to say anything about it. I've actually decided I'm going to do a full-blown podcast on cyberbullying because that's what's important. And what they say is not, I want to be able to I want girls to be able to go and this happens to millions of girls every day. There's girls right now being tweeted in high school like she's a whore, and it's hard to deal with. And I get it. And now it's on a platform where millions have seen this shit being said about me, and I'm like, I can go and try to defend myself to every person that will listen, or I can just be like, I don't really care what they say about me. They're gonna keep talking and talking and talking. That's what they do. And yeah, I'm just gonna fuck it.
No, I think.
I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
fuck, just fuck. No, I think it's a very mature way of looking at it, in the sense that, you know, end of the day, your not only your podcast, but your whole of your social media is there to kind of educate people on not what's right and what's wrong, but the kind of the effects that cyberbullying can have and continues to have on a day to day. So I think it's a great example.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a great example that you're showing, you know, amongst all your followers and your fans that you do have around the world, the importance of cyberbullying and what we can do to try and prevent it happening, right?
100%. And that, yeah, 100%. And that was the biggest thing for me. I was really sad about it. That was real. And I remember I called my friend and I was bawling to him. He's actually on the show, bawling to him. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, you know what, Carly, this is your chance to show people like who you are. Put it online, put the emotions online. I never want to be like, I didn't want sympathy. That wasn't it. I just wanted women to know, like, even at the top tier, if you don't think people are getting bullied, it happens everywhere. Like, I'm getting, like, you know, it happened to me too. Being slut shamed is like a real thing. Like, it's going to happen for forever. It's sad, but it can happen. The easiest thing to do is call a girl a slut. What else? If a girl's nice, and I was really nice about those girls actually too. When the one girl was going through a breakup, I actually messaged her being like, I know you're going through a breakup. I get it sucks. Here if you need me.
Yeah.
The easiest thing for her to do was turn around and call me a slut. What else? Like, she had nothing else to say, if I'm being honest.
No, fair enough. And I think, like you said, you know, you've probably handled it in the best way you probably can. And I look forward to that little educational part in your podcast.
Thank you.
So just to finish off proceedings, we've got 2 games, Carly. Okay, and I'm sure you're going to love both.
I love games.
Okay, so are you? Have you watched, or I say, are you a fan of Squid Games?
No. Never seen it.
Oh,
I don't watch TV.
All right. Okay.
All right. I watched you. I watched the show You.
Okay, so you know, well, there's a part in Squid Games where it's like red light, green light.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Nathan's messaging me some crazy shit right now.
That's all right. Get him on.
He's freaking out right now.
He was on the other day with his baby mama. That was
Kaylee. Yeah, they're great. I love him. He's my best friend in the world. Anyways.
Yeah, so the game is going to be called Red Flag, Green Flag. Okay. All right. And
I heard about this game.
What we want you to do.
Nathan told me. He said it's so much fun. I was like, I'm excited.
Oh my God, he told you the game. Unbelievable. Right.
Yeah,
okay. So what you're going to do, right, is you're going to give us 2 green flag moments and 2 red flag moments, right? They don't have to be about previous relationships. You don't have to make them about Chase or Joey or anything like that.
Okay, I'm not going to.
But we can make them about potential new partners that you might have in the future. What are the kind of the key areas you would look for? 2 green flags, 2 red flags. Go.
Okay, well, my green flag is obviously obvious. It's loyalty. And loyalty and compassion. I want someone that's absolutely obsessed with me, loves the world, loves people. And then 2 red flags would be mean, mean and disrespectful.
Okay, yeah.
To me and to others, not just me. And then I guess another red flag. Maybe someone that like disrespects their mom, if that makes sense. I don't know. You know, like that saying where it's like, if they don't respect their mom, they're not going to respect you.
I have heard that before. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, my dad always said that. So yeah, someone that's maybe, I don't know, not nice to their mom. I've dated so many guys with red flags that it's like, I just don't think that I'm ever not going to find a guy with no red flags. So, you know.
Interesting. So just a quick add on that. Do you think you attract the guys with red flags, or do you think that you subconsciously look for them?
I think I look for them because I feel like it goes back to like my childhood, like trying to like fix, like I watched my mom like nurse my dad my whole life. So I think I grew up thinking that I need to like make it, like fix a guy. Right. I'm working on that with my therapist. So yeah, I think I look for guys that I can like try to like help.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. And to finish everything off, we've got bedroom dilemmas, okay? And what you're going to be doing, Carly, is every single week, basically, I ask my followers to send in their biggest bedroom dilemmas that they are facing. Okay. Now, whether they be about their wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything, anybody they're seeing, the dilemmas sometimes can be quite explicit.
Okay.
But what's going to happen today is you are going to be summarizing them, and you are going to be providing your best recommendation from your own perspective, what you think they should do.
Okay. On it.
So we're going to start off with, okay, these, and by the way, these ones I've actually, I think will be good for you to do.
Oh God. Oh, okay. Good. I'm excited.
Okay. So, had sex with friend's boyfriend. How do I tell her?
Okay. I've never done this ever in my life. Contrary to belief, I will not go for a man that is my friend. Fuck, I think that friendship's probably done. If I'm being honest. I've had that happen to me, actually. One of my best friends slept with my man beside me while I was asleep on the couch. Anyways. That's why it's funny when people come at me. I'm like, no, I've been through that. I went through that.
That is a dilemma in itself, which is
yeah. If the girl is not aggressive, I would say it in person. I'd give her that respect to sit her down with like a cup of tea and tell her, or a vodka soda or a glass of wine.
We really escalated there from a cup of tea.
Yeah. You never know what they're gonna need. But also the boyfriend should tell her too. Group session.
Group. Okay. And then the next one is can't believe I'm reading this one out. Okay, so is it weird to think about my friend's mum during the act?
Is this a guy putting this question?
It hasn't clarified. It's just that I could be going.
Okay. Is it weird? Do you think about your boyfriend or your girlfriend's mom? Yes. I mean, like, it's the same, like, DNA, I guess, a little bit. So, I mean, at least it's in the family, but it's a bit weird. I mean, maybe it's kind of like a compliment, like, to look like that when they're older. I don't know, but it's a bit weird. I mean, like, have I ever seen, I'm trying to think if, like, any of my ex-boyfriend's dads have been hot. No, they haven't. So, yeah, that's a bit weird.
What would be your advice to kind of get through that?
Probably find a new boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't think you can fix that. Maybe get a therapist, talk through it with your therapist. I'm all about therapy. That would be my answer for everything.
Amazing. Well, Carly, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for listening, guys. Please rate and review the episode, and then head over to my Instagram to follow Lipstick Stain Passport, and then send me across your bedroom dilemmas.